Peacemaker, Season 2. This is one of, if not my most anticipated project from James Gunn of this year. Superman was great. However, Peacemaker is such an enjoyable character. I remember when I first watched The Suicide Squad and they announced they were making Peacemaker into a series, I was skeptical. I was one of the people who said, why are you making it about that obscure character? We have so many other characters that we could have a series about. That would be much, much better. And I went into watching season 1 with zero expectations. And after the very first episode, because they dropped 3 at once, I was absolutely hooked. John Cena was fantastic in season 1. And from what I just saw from season 2 in the most recent trailer that was released, it looks to be either on the same level or somehow even better. And that's why today we're talking Peacemaker, Season 2, predictions, updates, and a discussion. But before we get into anything, guys, please, for me, like this video, subscribe to the page, hit that noti bell. Alright, Peacemaker Season 2. So you see that opening scene of the second trailer, and it has Adrian Chase there with John Cena's Peacemaker. And again, I just loved their dynamic. He was one of my favorite characters in season 1. Obviously, Peacemaker was great, but Adrian Chase, Vigilante, was amazing. He was hilarious, he was comical, and his acting was spectacular. All of the actors did an amazing job, and it looks like from the trailer that they really brought it even more so in this season. So it kind of opens up with that kind of orgy scene, and you get some comedy right off the bat. So if anyone thought that they were going to pull any punches with season 2, make it maybe a little bit less R-rated, they were wrong. We're pretty much going to start out with an orgy, and you get that funny line from Peacemaker saying, "Why would I invite you? You don't even like sex." And then Vigilante delivers one of the funniest lines saying, "Well, yeah, but it's a chance where I can get to know my best friend and bond with him more." I just cannot believe how amazing their dynamic is, how much I care about their friendship. And again, I was not expecting to care this much about Peacemaker, such an obscure character. And when I saw him, spoiler alert, in Superman, I was one of the people in the theater, one of many people that went crazy. Again, all the jokes were, can you really see him? It might have been just a floating helmet. Which again, I think another reason why I love Peacemaker so much is because John Cena is such an amazing person. He's a great actor, and he's absolutely comical. He loves the "you can't see me" jokes, and I think that is absolutely awesome. But all that praise aside, I do have a couple of predictions. Obviously, we do know that Frank Grillo's character, Rick Flag Sr., is going to be after Peacemaker. We all know what happened in the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker killing Rick Flag, and the repercussions of that. We're really going to be diving into that in this season, especially with Rick Flag Sr. being the new head of Argus. And I really like the mention of Lex Luthor, the events that happened in the Superman movie, him having that extra dimensional gate. What I kind of think is going to happen in this season, aside from all the amazing jokes, comedy, and kind of character building, I really do think they are going to make an effort to transition all of the Peacemaker characters over to this new universe. And to be honest, I think there's only one way you can really do that, and I don't know if they can kill off that version of Peacemaker in the new universe. I think if they did that, it would diminish a lot of the Peacemaker that we know from the universe that we came from. It would diminish a lot of his character development, because by the end of that season, he didn't have the mentality of, hey, you need to kill anyone. I will kill everyone in the name of peace. No, he wants to be a hero. We see that especially in the trailer when he is interviewing to be a member of the Justice Gang. And they really don't take him seriously. And that's why I really do think this is going to be a very minor part of the series. And I think it'll only realistically be maybe 1 or 2 scenes. And outside of that, it'll be kind of done with the Justice Gang. That'll use it as a propeller for him to want to be better, to feel kind of slighted and to start that journey of self reflection. So, would it really be justified him going to this new universe and loving this new Peacemaker's life so much, him having the perfect life, and then just stealing it from him? That doesn't make sense to me. So, what I really think is going to happen is that Peacemaker is going to die, but it's not going to be at the hands of our Peacemaker, the one that we spent season one with. It's actually going to be at the hands of, in my opinion, someone from Argus. I think it'll be some sort of mix up where he'll end up interrogating either our Peacemaker or the one from the other universe, and there will be some sort of scuffle, and he'll end up getting killed, that other version of Peacemaker. And honestly, I could see them killing off a lot of other members of that team. And then you'll have to see the weight that holds with everyone that we've kind of bonded with and connected with in season one. They'll be able to see their counterparts die in their fates, and maybe one or two of them do survive and just kind of end up laying low. But as we know, our Peacemaker is going to transition into this universe. So they have to do that in some way. And the best way to do that is, unfortunately, with the death of the Peacemaker of that universe. And the only way to do that, without diminishing what happened in season one, without taking away from all of the character development that he went through, is by someone else killing him off. And now we do know that his dad is going to appear in this season. I think there will be some flashback scenes, but also in the new universe, obviously, he probably isn't dead. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's confirmed in the one trailer that he is alive in that universe. I think that version will be much more accepting of Peacemaker, will love him a lot more, and I could really see them adding more tragedy to the story, and that being him dying as well. So he'll have to go through the death of his father 2 times, which again, that'll just add so many more layers to it. And I really think by the end of this series, obviously this show is very, very hard to predict. I know season one, I would have never been able to predict that whole butterfly incident and everything that happened there. Obviously, the person that ended up on the team who was secretly an alien and a butterfly that just took over a human, it was somewhat obvious. It could realistically only be one or two characters that would have made sense. But other than that, everything kind of came out of left field, and it was really surprising. But with this season, I really, really am having a difficult time, and I don't know about any of you out there, predicting what's going to happen, how it's going to end. Obviously, I really am confident that that version of Peacemaker is going to die. I don't think they're going to kill off Rick Flag Sr., but I don't think they're going to reconcile either. So is the season really going to end with Frank Grillo's Rick Flag Sr. kind of failing and just still having that vendetta? Because there's no way he forgives him. He killed his son, his pride and joy. Rick Flag Jr. was a hero, and everyone loved him. And the fact that he was murdered by Peacemaker, again, it's something that Peacemaker does regret in season one, but he can't go back and change it. So I don't know how they're going to do any type of reconciliation between the two. I think if they do anything, it might feel too forced. I think you do have to have these two characters remain enemies, and if in the future they do end up in some sort of team up, there will have to be friction, even more so than there was between Peacemaker and Idris Elba's character in the Suicide Squad movie. And I think that could actually lead to a really cool dynamic down the future. I really think Peacemaker is going to be a cornerstone character in this DC universe, which for me, if you would have asked me a couple of years ago, I would have thought that was a mistake. But after seeing this character and after knowing how much thought and emotion goes into this character and kind of exudes from this character, he's one of the characters I care most about in this new DC universe. Obviously, we haven't gotten many yet, but I am so connected with this character and I want to see his progression. And I know we're going to be exploring his relationship with Hardcore and obviously with Adrian Chase, their friendship blooming. I am hoping they do not kill him off. I know in season one, in the finale, I was really worried that he died, but I was so happy when he actually made it out alive. I don't want any of those main characters to die. I really don't think any of them will. If any character is to die, I could see either his love interest or Diebeard. John Economos, I'm pretty sure is his name. I think those would be the two most likely to die, aside from the new version characters in the new universe. I personally think almost all of them are going to die in some way. I don't think it's going to be by Team Peacemaker or by Peacemaker himself. I really do think it's going to be a result of either one, the people from Argus and Rick Flag Sr., or that alien that we did see, because obviously they're not going to show us everything that's going to happen in the season in those two trailers, so they are going to leave some sort of threat. And to get back into a little bit of what I mentioned earlier about how the season is going to end, I could see a possible reconciliation, or maybe not even that, but kind of something where you let your differences aside between Rick Flag Sr. and Peacemaker to stop whatever alien threat that is. Because obviously we see Adrian Chase and Peacemaker talking about that alien, and he mentions how much of a dickhead he is. He never talks to him, never says anything back when he always says hi to him. So something's going to happen with that, and I think it could be a really cool thing where that does lead to something similar to where the butterflies at the end of season 1, where it could be something small scale, so it explains why Superman and other big characters aren't there. But if whatever they do fails, which again, this is what will add stakes to it, that's when bigger heroes would be more so notified, because it would become an actual worldly threat and much more well known. And obviously, we know Amanda Waller is going through what she's going through at the end of season 1. Everything was kind of exposed about her. So I expect some sort of at least mention about her and what's going on with her in this season. And I'm just really excited to see all of the different dynamics, the different storylines. But yeah, I really like the confident predictions that I have about this season are definitely about the other universe, Peacemaker, and kind of those, the 11th Street kids. I think that's what they call themselves. I really think a lot of them are going to end up dying. And then I really think that Frank Grillo's Rick Flag Sr. and Peacemaker are going to end up putting their beef aside. Obviously, it's way less on John Cena's Peacemaker than it is on Rick Flag Sr. because he has a lot more he has to forgive. Obviously, Peacemaker murdered his son, but I think there is going to be some sort of at least agreement to where, hey, I'm not going to hunt you down right now. We need to stop this huge existential threat. And then once that threat is over, then we could see him maybe wanting to dive into that vendetta deep down into future projects. And then that could kind of give us a hint as to where these characters are going to go in the future of this universe. But those are kind of my predictions, my thoughts on what I think is going to happen in season 2 of Peacemaker. Some of the things that I really want to happen. Obviously, I hope Hardcore and Peacemaker end up together. I think they have great chemistry, and I hope they get some sort of a happy ending. Please don't kill off Vigilante, as a side note. But other than that, those are kind of all my thoughts. But let me know what all of you think down in the comments below. And while you guys are down there, like this video, subscribe to the page, hit that noti bell. And until next time, I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye.